Debt. Every month, more than 265 million Americans struggle with debt payments to banks, credit card companies, and other lending institutions. The average person in the U.S. owes over $90,000 in debt. Many owe more, much more. However, there's a bright side to this story. More than 65 million Americans are living their lives completely debt-free. Where do you fit in? If you graduated from college, you're probably carrying student loan debt of over $20,000. You probably don't have a lot in savings. You feel like you're not being paid enough, especially given how much debt you took on to get your degree. The cost of living keeps going up, but your paycheck is not keeping pace. And with credit card debt, car payments, mortgage payments, medical payments, payday loans, and home equity loans, you wonder how anyone could ever pay it all off and live debt-free. It's just not possible. Yet, somehow, 65 million people do just that. They live debt-free and they keep all the money they would normally pay out in monthly payments. What would that be like? Imagine all the things you could do if the money you are now spending on debt payments could just stay in your pocket each and every month. How would you feel if you could just keep all the money you earn? I mean, you worked hard. You earned it. It's your money, right? Or did you promise that money to someone else? Is that why you work so hard? Just so you can give hundreds of dollars of your cash to someone else every month? Living debt-free may seem like a distant dream to you. You may ask yourself, how could anyone possibly become debt-free? They must be rich or own their own business. It must have been given to them. They can't possibly be regular people like me. Maybe you think you owe too much money and that you'll never be able to pay it all off. And so you've arrived at the grim conclusion that you'll always be in debt. Anything else is pure fantasy. What if I told you you were wrong? And what if I told you that many of these people are just like you?
No, I'm not in debt.
I owe no man money.
I have no debt.
None.
None.
Zero.
And they are now debt-free.
I don't think I owe anybody anything.
What if they discovered the secret to becoming debt-free and they live that way every day? You may think I'm crazy, but I assure you, I'm not. I really am quite sane, and in fact, my wife and I now live debt-free, so I'm speaking from experience. I promise you that by the end of this video, you'll understand what banks, credit card companies, and other lending institutions don't want you to know. They want you to keep paying them for many years to come. Modern society instructs us from our youth that borrowing money is normal, and buying things on credit even contributes to our financial health. We are constantly reminded that a good credit score is important so we can borrow easily and effortlessly. From high-dollar smartphones to large upscale homes and cars and clothes and everything in between, we're encouraged to buy now and pay later by spreading the payments over many years. We are never encouraged to save up and pay cash for those high-ticket items. Please don't get me wrong, debt has its place and is necessary in some cases. But new debt and ongoing payments should not be our default position. Debt should be the exception that is entered into sparingly and paid off quickly. Here are some facts to consider. The average American pays $5,646 a year in mortgage interest, $832 in car loan interest, $855 in credit card interest, $641 in student loan interest, for a total of $7,974 in interest each year. That's almost $8,000 paid each year in interest on debt for the average American. Remember, that's just the interest on your debts. None of that money is going to pay down the debt. You are renting the use of money you already spent. Let's say you had no debt, and instead of giving away that $8,000, you were able to invest those loan payments at 8% interest. In 5 short years, you would have accumulated almost $49,000. $40,000 of that are the payments you paid in, but almost $9,000 is interest paid to you. If you continued that for 5 more years, you would have amassed a total of over $121,000. $41,964.02 of that is free money to you in the form of interest. That's $41,000 credited to your account that you didn't have to go out and physically work for. It just shows up in your account as interest. Albert Einstein once said, "Compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it." That's the concept lenders don't want you to understand. They want you to continually make payments to them so they can bank all that interest that you're paying into their accounts. It's time to turn that around and direct the flow of interest into your account. But how do you do that? It all starts with getting out of debt. Are you ready? Then let's get to it. Step 1, understand your financial situation. Americans now pay over $2 trillion in interest annually. On average, that's over $7,000 per person. Let's see where you fit into that picture. How much debt do you really owe? This may be painful, but it's very easy to do and vitally important. You can't solve a problem without having all the facts. To do this, get out a piece of paper or use a spreadsheet and list all your debts, including the names, lenders, balances owed, minimum monthly payments, and the interest rates for each debt. I'll place a link below in the description of this video to a very simple debt reduction spreadsheet that you can download for free. You'll see in this example spreadsheet a total monthly payment amount of $2,733.88. Yours will be different, of course. Below that, enter the amount you have available each month to make these payments. Now, notice the difference. The spreadsheet will calculate this automatically. Hopefully, this will not be a negative number. In this example, the budget for debt payments is $2,976, and the total of the payments due is $2,733.88, leaving a difference of $242.12. That can be used as an extra payment amount to pay down your debts. The point here is to understand your situation so that you can formulate a plan. Step 2. Start paying down the debt. Now that you clearly see what you owe, choose any one of the debts listed in your spreadsheet and designate that debt for targeted payoff. This is where you would pay the $242 that we identified as the extra payment amount. Normally, the math dictates that you should take the debt with the highest interest to pay off first, but it's really a personal preference. The important thing is to choose the target debt that most gets you excited to pay off. If you apply the $242 to the MasterCard debt in this example, you would completely pay off the MasterCard debt and have $17 to apply towards another debt. You can then add the $10 you were paying toward the old MasterCard payment to the $242 for a total of $252 as debt paydown amount each month. As you continue paying off debts and applying those payments to other debts, this creates a compounding effect that allows you to pay off your debts more quickly. The trick is to stay at it and keep paying down those debts with an ever-increasing extra payment amount. Step 3. Stop buying on credit. I know this sounds simple, but this may actually be the hardest step to master. There are several ways to train yourself out of the habit of buying on credit. The simplest way is to put your credit cards in a drawer and use cash from now on. If that's still a temptation, you can always cut the credit cards up. If you need to buy online, use your debit card on trusted websites. That way, you only spend money you actually have in your bank account, so no credit is involved. Step 4. Look for more money to add to your payoff amount. Now that you've started your debt-free journey, it's important to look for ways to build momentum. The sooner the debt is paid off, the less interest you are charged. That's the thing about interest. Reuben J. Clark once noted, "Interest never sleeps, nor sickens, nor dies. It works on Sundays and holidays. It never takes a vacation. It is never laid off work, nor discharged from employment. It has no love, no sympathy, and it is hard and as soulless as a granite cliff." Once in debt, interest is your companion every minute of the day and night, and whenever you fail to meet its demands, it crushes you. With that in mind, let's reverse this one-sided relationship of financial servitude as soon as possible so that the compounding interest is paid to you instead of you paying them. You'll want to commit all the extra cash you can toward debt reduction. The more money you allocate each month to this effort, the better. I pause here to give you a bit of caution. As you gather money from various sources, you may be tempted to use newly acquired money to buy stuff you want. Be resolved to focus with tunnel-like vision on becoming debt-free and dedicate any found monies to paying off more debt. There's a real tendency, an addiction really, that affects millions of people the world over. The addiction to buying stuff. In my video, How Media Stole the American Dream, I explain the underhanded tactics commercial media uses to seduce the public into thinking the American dream is to buy stuff. That's not the American dream, but it is estimated that more than 16 million Americans struggle with compulsive buying and are addicted to buying stuff just for the sake of having it. As you focus on paying off debt, go outside your normal routine to locate pockets of money that you may not have thought to tap into. Many who are now living debt-free found the cash they needed by starting side hustles, selling stuff, lowering expenses, eating out less, getting a second job, or upgrading their current job, and comparison shopping at the market with insurance policies, mobile phone services, and more. Some banks even offer cash incentives to open new accounts with them if you set up direct deposit of your paycheck. Use that cash to further pay off debt. There are some peer-to-peer lending banks like Prosper that provide loan rates as low as 8% for those with good credit. That's probably much better than your current credit card company offers. I discussed these new banking options in my last video, The War on Big Banks, the Crash of the Bank Titans. You should check it out. Step 5. I'm debt-free. Now what? At this stage of your journey, I have to congratulate your future self. You did it! You paid off all your debt and you're living debt-free. Now what? What's the next step to your quest for financial independence? This journey is not really about money. It was always about freedom and the sense of peace that comes from living a debt-free lifestyle. Therefore, the next step is to provide yourself with the ability to do whatever you want, whenever you want, without asking, can I afford it? My grandfather used to say, I can buy whatever I want because I don't. The path to this level of financial freedom lies in your money working for you. In other words, let someone else pay interest to you. Remember, interest never sleeps. It works day and night. It never takes a vacation. It pays you 24/7. The more money you have earning interest, the freer you are to pursue any of your American dreams and stop worrying about, do I have enough? Now that you've paid off your debt, the next step is to start paying these monthly payments to yourself. In our previous example, we had $2,976 in monthly payments, which are now all paid off. Now we can invest that $2,976 each month so that we are getting the interest that never sleeps, paid to us. And by reinvesting that interest, we are compounding our profits, which grow our investments exponentially. At the end of 1 year, we would have grown our investment to $40,520.99. After 5 years, it would have grown to almost $250,000. And after 20 years, it would become $1,779,273.09. The miracle part of that figure is that 60% of that amount, over $1 million, is interest. If you follow the black interest line in this graph, you can see how the interest begins to go faster and faster over time. This is the secret to becoming rich: compound interest. There are other ways to become rich, but compound interest is just math. Business opportunities and other ventures may fail, but math works every time. In this case, 20 years of compound interest gives you $1 million. How old will you be in 20 years? Something to think about. Well, that's it. Now you see the light at the end of the financial tunnel. People who are debt-free do not let their money rule them. They rule their money, and their money serves them. They are addicted to saving and investing money instead of spending it. The power of money is not the things you can buy with it. The power of money is the freedoms and the options money affords you. Debt transfers those freedoms and options to those to whom you are indebted. We are all born free men and women, but debt robs us of those God-given freedoms as we remain in bondage until the debt is paid. But there is an escape if we choose.
No, I'm not in debt.
I owe no man money.
I have no debt.
None.
None.
Zero.
I don't think I owe anybody anything.
If they can do it, so can you. I know you can. If you just decide you've had enough and you're going to live life on your terms. Decide right now that you'll let no one stand in your way of success and financial freedom. Take the bull by the horns. Take that first step and download the budget worksheet in the description area of this video, and let's make this happen. I'm 𝗟𝗲𝗃𝗲, and I'm living the American dream. Please join the more than 65 million Americans who are living their dreams completely debt-free.